Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome, my friends. I hope you're well. Had a fantastic start to the new week. Let's just turn the music down and get started. First of all, let me just take a look at the chat to see who is here. Demetrius already joined. Devin, welcome. Akena, Ervo is here as well. Harun, welcome. Yuan, Mohammed John, Rakesh, Vincent. I hope you had a lovely weekend. Okay, posting your celebrations. Anything special? I noticed that Demetrius had a big breakthrough, right? And started communicating with GRC professionals. And thanks for the messages as well, Demetrius. I look forward to getting back to you on them and our conversation tomorrow in our live session. And that being said, let me get started, right? Let me take a look at what's happening. As you can see, the title of today's session is Your Career DNA in Cyber. How to unlock your path to income, okay? Impact and independence together. Not just one, but three of them at the same time, because that's the key. When we take a look at what's happening in the marketplace, right? When someone just talks about, for example, money, make more money, of course, we are not living in a 2D world. Okay, at the end of the month, you need to pay your rent, your mortgage, your expenses. But at the same time, if you just care about money and that's all, what about the impact? What about the ethics? What about the independence? I see a lot of professionals, they literally grind for 60, 70, 80 hours. Okay, they spend so much time away from their families. And then at the end of the day, even if let's say you make 100, 150K, would you be happy doing that, for the rest of your life? Think about that. Or what about income? Let's say you are creating a massive impact on the world. If you cannot pay the bills, if you're struggling on that front, how is that going to work? Or maybe you have all the independence that you want. For example, you have the perfect lifestyle. Everything is great. You can work from home remotely in any location. But what if you are not creating the impact on the world that you want to have? Or maybe the income is not there at the same time. Like we have unfortunate kind of those problems that unfortunately most cybersecurity professionals that are not just cyber, but all technology professionals skip the point. Okay. So the question then becomes is, okay, let's find that middle path. Let's find out our ideal specific position. But how can we get there? Right? How can we get there? And the truth is, and that's the topic of today, is focusing on your career DNA. Okay? Focusing on your career DNA. And to get there, these scan values, they play a very important role. Those questions, they play a very important role. And if you have already taken the first steps in the cyber transform program, if you have completed those, maybe you want to redo those exercises, but please know that's critical. Why? Because when you take your DISCAN values assessment, the test results, you will see the differences. For example, is your communication and work values, your style is D, like dominance. Or maybe that's I, people focused, right? Or maybe that's S, steadiness. Or maybe that's C, like detail focus. Whatever that might be, please understand. If you want to become a cybersecurity analyst, maybe a compliance professional, maybe a penetration tester, maybe like a manager, they play a very important role. But that's not enough. There are different elements to this as well. So in today's call, what we're going to cover is go through the 8 key points. And please know, if you are struggling, let's say, with progressing on your journey, let's say you find it harder than you expected, or maybe you are just getting started, or maybe you have completed and now you are taking the interviews, but it doesn't click for some reason. If people are not getting back to you, or if you don't find the motivation that you want, if it's not there, please know it's all connected to the roadmap that I'm about to share with you in just a moment, okay? So please understand. Of course, getting the skills, if that's what you need, is important. If that's missing, is important. Or maybe a resume, make sure that you have the perfect LinkedIn and then you have the interview skills as well. Of course, they're critical. But if the core piece is missing, then unfortunately nothing would work, okay? So that being said, let's dive in. Let me just take a look at the chat. My friends, welcome once again. And let's just dive in and get started and take a look at the questions that I'm about to share with you. And then I'll take your questions as well in the chat and we go from there. When it comes to your career DNA, when it comes to making six figures and beyond, multiple six figures, please know there are just two games you can play, okay, in this field. The first one is how most people approach their career journey, and it's the commodity mindset. I have some skills, let me just do it. I don't care what they are. I don't care what kind of problems, what kind of companies, I will help, I will serve. And I don't really, care that much about how I work and even the finances, as long as I'm getting paid, let me just get my foot in the door, etc. There are a lot of, let's say, explanation or reasoning behind that approach, but it's still the commodity approach. And the downside of that approach is it is reactionary. Okay. That's not how you design your career because people dictate, okay, this is what we have right now, and that's it. And then you just choose and then kind of like obey and then be compliant. That's how most people approach their journey. It's not just cyber, but across maybe all professional fields, but specifically in technology, specifically in cyber. If you choose the second method that most people are not even aware of, that most people will never use, that is the value-driven approach. Okay. And to tap into that power, you first of all need to go through the 8 key points I'm about to share with you. Number one, your current career situation. Okay. And it comes with very simple, just a few questions. Number one, where are you right now physically? Most people don't even pay attention to that. But where you are right now, and I'll talk about where you want to be, where you want to go, etc. But it reveals a lot of things for you. Okay. Thinking about, for example, work permits, thinking about visa situation, thinking about maybe security clearances, thinking about language. Let's just get real for a second. A lot of professionals, they come from different backgrounds and different origins and different locations, especially in the tech field. So if you identify and take advantage of where you are, then it's the key starting point. By the way, it doesn't matter if it's US, the UK, Canada, Europe, Africa, New Zealand, it doesn't matter. But you just need to acknowledge that so that you can create your design accordingly. Okay. That's number one. And number two, when you take a look at your current career situation, what do you have right now? Are you currently working as a cybersecurity professional, or maybe you used to work as a cybersecurity professional for at least a few years, meaning that you already have something to like a lot of things to talk about. You're already in the game. That's one. If that's not the case, the second question is, are you an IT profession? Meaning software development, network engineering, system administration, IT help desk and support. Those are what we call the feeder roles. Okay. 2, 3 out of 5 professionals, according to different research from IC Squad, ISACA, they make the move from those backgrounds. So if you have them, that's great. You can use it. If you don't have them, you need to pay attention and then approach the game differently. That doesn't mean you cannot do this, but you need to follow a different process to get what you want. Okay. And then the third one is, do you have any corporate job experience? What do I mean by that? Financial and risk analysis, program project management, business analysis. If you have that, that means you also have the white collar background and the understanding. You probably have very good soft skills, like your communication skills, and then business skills, and you have a kind of like an understanding of how businesses operate, right? So that's extremely important in cyber as well. But let's say you are just getting started in your professional life and career. Let's say you don't have that. But then ask this question. Do you have a degree that you can leverage? Maybe have you completed any certification, any training, any hands-on skill, anything that you have that you can talk about, in the recruitment process? If you have that, wear them like a badge of honor. If you don't have them, understand that you need to follow a different path and you need to have something to talk about. Could be transferable skills, technical skills, could be maybe getting 1 or 2 certifications, maybe not like certification creep, stacking up 5, 10, but still it's important. Okay. And that's the second question. And we are still talking about your current career situation. And then your relationship with cybersecurity. And believe it or not, guys, here's what I can tell you. Most people are interested in learning cybersecurity skills because it's fun, it's exciting, it's like interesting. But if you want to make a career out of this, then please know It is not just building up some technical skills or even leveraging your already available transferable skills. It's more than that. And what are we talking about here? Are you committed to making a living, okay, working as a cybersecurity professional? What does that mean? Beyond gathering technical skills, communicating, are you interested in helping companies? Are you interested in doing things that may be a little bit of out of your comfort zone? How committed are you? Have you made up your mind? Most people have not. Most people think like, let me just get some skills and then I will look into the career angle later. No, you need to get started from scratch because the skills that you will learn will be very different. For example, if you're interested in cyber, you can learn about metasploit, maybe penetration testing, some ethical hacking skills because they're like very interesting. But if you want to make a career out of this, you of course need to understand the business angle, how businesses operate, how do they make money, how they approach as a whole, and what does that mean? Like cybersecurity means for them. Does it make sense? And that's why you need to understand, hey, I'm 100% committed, and that's exactly my next step. And believe it or not, maybe that's not the case for you. Maybe you're exploring right now. Okay, that's one. You can explore. But then when you commit, you need to give all in. You need to make that decision because otherwise, half-baked solutions, one foot in, one foot out, it never works. Never works, okay? So please understand, hey, 100% cybersecurity is my next step, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. Okay. And if that's not the case, hey, okay, I mean, there are lots of YouTube videos, even some Udemy courses. You can have a sense of it. We also have like different programs like Career Launcher, so that you can take a look. But please know that it's not enough to make a big, massive move and career upgrade. And then, fourth question is finances. Okay. Take a look at your highest salary to date. Take a look at your net worth in a way. Why? Because the process and how you would approach your career journey, your skills development, as well as career development journey, like all together, it has a very important role there. Because let's say you are working in a different field, maybe in retail, maybe in customer service, transportation, it doesn't matter. And if you are earning to a certain level, to a certain degree, maybe gross 40, 50K in the United States, and you want to make the next move. If you want to make 100 six-figure salaries, 150, 200K, it's okay. But to get there, you need to follow a different support system as well as financial investment in accordance with what you have available. And then the next goal should also be in line with that. I sometimes see people, hey, you know what? I want to become a penetration tester. I don't have any technical background and I'm just interested in Metasploit and nothing else, but I want to have a career out of this and I want to make 150K. Well, okay, but please know that's a process. You can get there, but one step at a time. You can climb the steps and the ladder faster, much faster, but you still need to follow the right steps at the right time. Okay, so having a clear snapshot of where you are, which is what we call current career situation, is extremely important. Does that make sense? Type yes in the chat, or if you have any questions, just let me know, my friends. Okay, that's one. And then thanks, Vincent. And then disc personality. So please understand, there are different personality tests. Okay, Myers-Briggs, 16 personalities, disc and values, Big Five, like there are lots of different personality tests. However, after working with hundreds of people, what I've found works the best is when you have a good understanding of your communication style with DISC, DICS, and values, then you can see, hey, you know what? I'm not a people person. I just want to, for example, deal with computers all day long. I don't want to speak with a lot of people. I don't enjoy meetings per se. If that's you, it's fine. You have a place in cyber because many times people think it's just penetration testing or like security analysis. That's not the case. Cybersecurity, and that's what I love about one of the things I love about this domain, is there is a place for everyone in this field. Meaning, let's say you want to travel a lot. Let's say you want to communicate with people, meet with new people. You can focus on certain roles. For example, you can focus on certain GRC roles, and then you can just go visit different places, shake hands, and run audits. Or maybe you want to work from home. Okay, just enjoy your environment. You don't want to travel at all. and you don't want to deal with people that much. You just want to focus on technical problems. Okay, you can become a penetration tester, or maybe like a security engineer, cloud security engineer. You can also do that remotely. Okay, maybe DevSecOps professional if you have that technical background, and then you can get there too. But please know that journey totally depends, okay, on your unique skills and talents. Meaning, if you don't, if that's not nature for you, something is not natural. But if you force yourself into that for prolonged time, then eventually you will fail because you cannot become very successful professional on something that you don't like. That's the bottom line. So it's clear, it's very important to understand what do you like, who are you, and this and values personality test will define that, will reveal that, so that you can say, hey, you know what? By the way, it's not zero or one. It's a spectrum. Okay, it's not like I'm 100% introvert, I'm 100% extrovert. Okay, no, that's one of the misunderstandings that I had for a very long time. That it's kind of like a scale, and then based on the scales where you are, then you can say, hey, you know what? My highest score is D and then I, meaning I'm dominant, I'm forceful, I'm bottom line oriented. That means you can become a manager and we always have that drive. And next personality is I, meaning like you value communications and then connecting with people. But if that's high S, that means you want steady structure systems. Okay. And then maybe that's C. You want everything to be perfect in order. You don't want to make any mistakes. Like everything should be correct in the first time. Detailed oriented. I myself, I'm not a very detailed oriented person. That's why I have my colleagues to help me, just like in professional environments as well. Does that make sense? But I'm a big picture thinking and I'm a visionary. I create systems, but when it's done, I want to give it to someone else and then they enjoy running it, making it perfect. But I'm interested in creating new systems. That's why, do you think can I be very successful as a GRC professional or a compliance professional in the long run? Of course not, because that's not me. You see what I'm saying? So it's extremely important that you know who you are and then mix and match, find your unique skills and unique place in the cyber world. That's a key point. Why? It will also help you during the interview process because everything will come natural. They can understand, they can feel your enthusiasm and then energy because they can truly understand that's what you want to do. That's personal for you, and then you can enjoy every minute of your work life when you get that opportunity. Okay. So, but you need to do that homework first. You need to go through the tests, and on our website we have the free career launcher and the assessment tests as well. You can just take them. But most of us, I see our group members here that you have already taken those tests. Make sure that you read it again and you will find like hidden discoveries there to leverage who you are and what you can accomplish. Okay, this kind of values, it's extremely important. Let me just take a look at the chat so I don't miss anything. Are there fully remote GRC roles? Yes, there are. Although it's not as much as, let's say, as many opportunities as cloud security engineer roles, and then maybe some penetration tester roles, or even cybersecurity analysis. Please know it's not just the job title, it's also the company. Because for the exact same role, some companies have solutions that you can work remotely because the entire company is remote. That's why they will ship your laptop to you, you will set up your VPN, and then you will join the meetings, you will create your documents like GRC audits with the help of like Microsoft Teams and Zoom. You can do a lot of things. But let's say you need to audit, you need to run a test, like an assessment in a physical environment, like a server room. In that case, of course, you need to be there physically. Um, but at the end of the day, another point is this. Many times professionals, all they need is just one, maybe two opportunities. That's it. If you want to have like two jobs at the same time. So that's why I sometimes see people, oh, penetration testers, 50,000 roles, GRC professional, 100,000 roles. That means, I need to become a GRC professional. It doesn't work that way, clearly, because all you need is just once or maybe, one or maybe two opportunities. Of course, follow the trends. Like, don't try to get a job in a position that it's not in demand. But I see almost all cybersecurity opportunities right now, they're in high demand. So you see what I'm saying? It's important that you find your balance in between. Okay. So that being said, let's proceed. The next bit is about skills, technical, business, and soft skills at the same time. PPT, people, process, technology. Why? Because cybersecurity, InfoSec world is about people, process, technology. To transfer your technical abilities as well as business skills and then soft skills, they all play an extremely important role. Okay. And the balance should be important too. And here's the caveat though. Let's say you want to become a penetration tester. That's what you enjoy. But according to your personality test and analysis, your background, you're a soft skills oriented person, people skills oriented person. But penetration testing is highly technical, meaning you need to get those technical skills. You cannot make up. You cannot like kind of, okay, you know what, I'll just um, randomly talk about my interest and then they will give me opportunities as a penetration tester. No, it directly contradicts with what you want to accomplish. It's not going to work. It will not work in the long run. But let's say you have years of sales experience and you want to join cybersecurity. If you want to become a business developer, it fits perfectly with your background. Okay, you have the transferable skills, that's fine. But if you don't want to do this anymore, then get ready to start with some technical skills and then build it on top and then start with the right place. Okay, sometimes if necessary, you can even take a step back in terms of compensation if that's a major dramatic shift. So it is a combination of so many different things. That's why we talk about disc and values, your current situation, and I will also talk about a couple of different things. Together, you need to make a decision. That's why many times most people stay stuck because they only focus on one thing. I sometimes see people, oh, hack the box is perfect, capture the flags, and then, try hacking. It's fine. You can learn a lot of technical skills, but are you sure that's the skill that you need and you want and you need it today? Is it in line with your personality, what you want to accomplish, your background? Think about that. And then, of course, if you know what you're doing, if you know the ideal outcome, you can make it happen. But if not, then that's the part you need help with. That's the part that, hey, you know what? That's the perfect niche for you. Why? Because there are like lots of different variables in this equation, okay? It's extremely important. So technical, business, and soft skills, and be honest with yourself. And tragically, like what I see, many times people know a lot, they think they don't know that much. But people who don't know that much, they think like, okay, I can do anything, I know it, yeah, I know everything. So it's kind of like hard to find the right place. And that's another reason why experts' help are extremely important here. Why? Because, oh, maybe a professional is suffering from, let's say, imposter syndrome. Like, hey, I have a lot of skills, but I still feel like I'm not good enough. I'm an expert on Amazon AWS, but I don't know anything about Microsoft Azure. So I don't deserve 250,000 salaries. In reality, it's just about positioning. If you know AWS, focus on companies who need AWS. You already have the skills. Let's focus on negotiation skills, job hunting skills, so we can get them. It's not like falling back and then getting another certification, AZ 500, and get started with that. Kind of like the mindset, okay? Does it make sense, this part? Finding the right match for your ideal goals and connecting in between. Technical skills, business skills, soft skills. And then there are lots of cybersecurity areas. The next topic is about cybersecurity focus groups. Look, there are more than 200 different job titles in this game, my friends. If you try to become too granular, then it's kind of like you will only focus on an extremely small niche that you might miss out on opportunities, or it would take a lot of time. If you become too generic, and that's more common, kind of like a mistake I see. Hey, I'm interested in cybersecurity analysis, or I'm interested in cybersecurity as a whole, and they throw in like SIEMs and SOCs and this and that, whatever. But then, which companies, which industries are you focusing on? Are you clear? And then, which specific cybersecurity category? In essence, in the cybersecurity field, there are six major categories. You can focus on defensive or offensive. Okay, you can focus on GRC, governance, risk management, compliance, and then management. And then you can focus on indirect roles like project management or maybe business development, marketing, and sales positions and opportunities. Or you can also consider maybe digital forensics as one field, or design and build roles like security engineers. And they all require different set of variations of technical skills, soft skills, and then business skills, as well as your unique personality. When you combine these elements, then you can see clearly where you are going to get started with, and then which level. Okay, I can become a DevOps engineer, but I'm just getting started. Okay, or I can become a penetration tester with the mid level or high level. And that's the balance. Cybersecurity focus areas. Becoming inclusively exclusive is key here, which is I'm including enough of opportunities, but I'm not kind of like pigeonholing myself to just the one company. Because what happens if that company doesn't have that role that you want? You see? So that's why finding that balance is key. And then final two things, two extremely important points, and then we will wrap up the session. Readiness to transition. And it goes hand in hand with current career transition, current career situation question that we covered in the first phase, which is, are you ready to make the transition or not? And you can understand this by asking a few questions. For example, what excites you the most about working in this field? Is it lifestyle benefits? Is it maybe doing meaningful work that makes an impact on others' lives? Or maybe it's enjoyment of technology and solving complex problems. Like, what is it? If you don't have enough reasons, maybe continuous learning and growth, maybe innovation and creativity. If you don't have them, then take a step back and question yourself. Hey, is this really what I want? Maybe that's data analysis that you want. Maybe that's, I don't know, software development that you want. If you're not excited enough, that's a big red flag. And number two, what kind of main career challenges are you facing today? If the financial stress is there, if lifestyle challenges and problems, maybe you're not spending enough time with your family. Or maybe you're already making 100K, 150K, but you know what? You don't feel like you are creating an impact. You don't feel like you are contributing to something meaningful. If that's the case, that's a motivating factor. Take a look at your financial situation, impact, and independence, which is your lifestyle, and you will understand how committed you are, or in a way you should be if you want to make the transition. Okay, that's question number two. And then, what do you see as your biggest obstacle? And that's a question that many times again people fall back to. Hey, I'm missing certifications, or I don't have our technical skills, and that's the problem. But in reality, it's typically what you don't think. It's typically like just opposite in a way. If someone thinks like, hey, I'm missing out on technical skills, when I take a look at that person typically has a lot of technical skills, but not using enough, leveraging and or marketing them enough. Or maybe that person doesn't want to go through interview process because doesn't want to speak up, market or sell because maybe deep down there's some limiting beliefs. Maybe deep down that person believes like candidate, hey, you know what? I don't think companies will ever pay what I deserve. So that's why I don't want to talk with them. That's why instead of going out and finding the right opportunities for me, I'd rather just stacking up my skills or certifications so that eventually maybe a company who truly they'll deserves my skill, they will get back to me. You see? Understanding the core problem, the main obstacle behind the scenes. When you get that right, then magically it's kind of like in one step you can fix a lot of those problems because you will understand what is really stopping you from success. Okay, maybe lack of confidence. If lack of confidence is the problem, do you think getting one more certification will help that? No, it's just opposite. You will understand how little you know because in the grand scheme of things there are like 200 300 certifications, maybe even more in cyber. Okay, and then wrapping up, how soon? What is the deadline? Do you want to accomplish? Do you want to get to the outcome in the next 3 months, 6 months, maybe 1 or 2 months? By the way, that's about the time. If you feel like, oh, maybe sometime this year, maybe sometime next year, I don't know, I'm just like, that means, okay, you can have a look at this domain, but please know it's not enough. It doesn't create enough energy or momentum to get what you want. Have a firm deadline based on your goals. That's why together, it's kind of like a roadmap, a picture you need to fix and you need to dive in together. It's kind of like if you visit, God forbid, doctor's office, okay, that you're suspecting maybe, God forbid, again, that you're worried about cancer or maybe another big health issue, important health issue. Do you think a doctor would make his or her decision based on just one factor, like blood pressure. Take a look at your, maybe blood results or MRIs or scans. That person will gather all the evidence together and then will make, hey, a suggestion or like recommendation or tell you what's missing, what's wrong, or hopefully, right, nothing's wrong. Together with all these variables, it makes sense. And that's another common mistake. When people try to do everything themselves, the problem is the missing part is exactly what's stopping most people. And to fix that missing part, you need to get the knowledge, get the skills and experience. And the funny thing is, if you already had that skills or experience, you would have solved the problem yourself. So in a way, trying to fix a problem without having what's needed, yet still trying to fix that problem. So in my experience, there are two ways to fix it. Either you work with experts directly, get help from people who has been there, done that, or find solutions to copy paste their experience. For example, especially in today's world, AI-enabled bots or chatbots, or maybe a combination of personality tests and skills, as well as our tests like roadmap assessment that we have freely available on our website, can reveal some of the things for you. And that's still way better than wasting a lot of time or effort and energy doing random stuff out there. Let me just get my Secret Plus, A Plus, Network Plus, GXPN, whatever, and then see if I can do it. Versus, hey, let me just take 5, 10 minutes, understand where I should head towards, and then I can see whether, okay, I can do this or not. Or probably that's my ideal niche or not. But the best way is obviously getting the right help, the support, if that's a priority for you. If that's not a priority for you, then you can spend more time because at the end of the day, you don't care. Like, think about that. But if it is important, if the income problem is important, if you're not spending enough time with your family, because you cannot, if you're not creating an impact, it's kind of like meaningless. They don't value your input at work. And then the next question is, how long do you want to continue like that? Like settle for less? What is really costing you? To me, I sometimes see people, I'm already making like 6 figures and, 150K. But your value, the things that you know, is worth at least 250,000. Every year you are living on the table at this 100 grand. 5 years, $500,000. So are you okay with that? If you're okay with that, cool. But to me, it doesn't make sense, right? So please understand. And it's not just the past, it's also the future. Let's say you have big ambition, big interest. If you know how to make the move, when you have the right type of help and support, and if you take action based on that, then how can your life be different? Your future, like your future generation, your children's life, your family's future. Think about that. And the world, in a way, because we need more people over here, right? So please understand your approach to this process is about the importance and then how much, pay attention, what kind of the level of attention that you pay, and then how committed you are to take action or not. Okay. Readiness to the transition. Then, of course, you need to choose your ideal income goal based on where you are and where you want to be. Then, of course, you need to take action with commitment, coachability, and resourcefulness. Those are the three key things that I stress all the time, highlight. Why? Because if someone is not committed, it's not going to work. If someone is not coachable, willing to listen to advice, then that person instead should spend maybe months or years trying to figure out, on his own. But then what happens? If the goal is important enough, that time will never come back. And sometimes it's too late. Hate to compare this, but it's kind of like you can do a lot of things if the cancer is stage 1. But if it's stage 4, unfortunately for many people, it's too late. So it's kind of like that. I know it's a sad example, but that's the truth. So if that's important, taking action as soon as possible is critical. And now, final point is about individual circumstances, my friends. What kind of circumstances that you're in right now? Because let's say you have the passport in the country that you live in, you have the language abilities, no problem. You are like 19 years old, or maybe 22, 23 years old. You're a computer science graduate, and then you're living with your parents. You have no obligations, and your parents are rich. They have all the money and connections. Do you think that's the same with someone, maybe that person has recently immigrated to a different country, like Canada, UK, US, it doesn't matter, right? And then maybe that person is divorced and taking care of the children as well. Okay. And let's say the person is also a woman. Of course, it's not as easy, right? Let's just get real for a second. And then maybe different responsibility as well and financial situations. And there are like so many different things together. So when you connect the dots in between, then you can say, hey, you know what? My process could take a little bit longer. My process can sound or can look like different than others, but it's perfectly fine because I can work hard and that I'll catch up, even if it takes slightly more, 6 months, maybe 1 year. But over time, it will pay off big time anyway. Your journey is your journey, my friends. So when it comes to this scan values assessment and test results, when it comes to your personality and these 8 core principles, if you get them right, you can literally save weeks, months, and years. And what's even better is you can see the finish line. If not, just like unfortunately most people elsewhere I see, it's very likely that you will struggle. So please pay attention where you are and how are you going to play this game, approach the cybersecurity career, your journey, and then your chance of success will skyrocket. Does that make sense? So that's what we talk about. And this can value is 8 steps in cyber to make the connections and grow your career accordingly. So let me know if you have any questions at all. And I look forward to seeing you in one of our next sessions as well as our Discord community. Okay. Many thanks for showing up live, and I'll catch up with you very soon, my friends.